Today is January 7th, 2025, and here in Texas and much of the country, we're going to have, or potentially going to have, quite a big storm. Snow and ice and freezing rain, that kind of stuff. That's what they're predicting. And while I don't really see myself where I'm at in Texas being very affected by this, it can still happen. I'm approximately 70 miles north of Houston and 167 miles south of Dallas. I think most of this stuff is going to be north of here, but that doesn't mean we don't prepare. So I want to make this little video. We do a lot of battery reviews on the channel, and often I'm touting the usefulness of having batteries and solar and all of that stuff in case of an emergency, you know. Prepare for the worst, pray for the best, that kind of thing. So today I've just been focusing a little bit on just kind of getting the house prepared. Tomorrow and Thursday are really going to be, and by tomorrow when you're watching this, it'll be tomorrow, which is Wednesday, will kind of be the start of this from what they're predicting. And having lived through, I moved to Texas 4 years ago, and right after I moved here, we had that big snowstorm in 2021 that just completely obliterated the power grid here in Texas. So just kind of want to show you around and show you how I'm preparing, and yeah, maybe we can get some other insight from you guys in the comments as to what else I might can do to prepare. I'm really not that worried. It's not like we're, you know, it's not like COVID, it's not like 2020. It's, you know, I'm really preparing for kind of worst case scenario, 3 or 4 days without power, which that would be huge if that actually happened. I'm not really expecting much, but again, that's why we prepare. So you probably hear some fans in the background. Let me show you what I'm doing with my power situation. So right now I'm currently just charging all my batteries that were in storage. This is a couple 300 amp hour of these watt cycles. I've got this one, that one's already charged. That one's charging up right now on a 40 amp charger. And then I've got another 300 amp hour watt cycle here that's being charged on a 50 amp charger. I've got my 3000 watt inverter all wired up. I've got some bus bars here for 4 wires for positive, 4 wires for negative, a Bluetooth shunt here so I can monitor the battery with a 250 amp breaker on there. And that's so I can put a number of batteries in parallel. So for example, I would put that battery and those 2 batteries, connect them all together, and then I can run essentially 900 amp hours with those 3 batteries off of my 3000 watt inverter, so I can power the lights, important things like the fridge, space heaters should I need them, any number of reasons, my internet router, that kind of thing. So just charging those up. Here's a 140 amp hour battery that I got from Radioddity to review. Several battery boxes should I need it. I've got a 30 amp hour battery in there. I've got 200 amp hour battery boxes in there. I just built that 30 amp hour battery box. Here, I've been meaning to do a video, but Cyclin Bat sent me 4 more batteries that I'm kind of testing right now. So I've put all those in parallel, and have a 400 amp hour battery bank there. These bottom 2 are 2 300 amp hour Bioenno batteries. Then we have this Power Queen 300 amp hour. Up here, I've got 400 amp hour batteries. This is just there's a little 12 amp hour battery box here. Sometimes I'll distribute these out to my neighbors when the power goes out in conjunction with. I've got a few of these little inverters just for powering smaller things. So that's actually a 400 watt inverter, 300 watt inverter, another 300 watt inverter. And then I've got another one of these that I keep in my car should I need it. So that's kind of what we're doing with power. I've also got in my bathroom for storage a couple of these XZNY batteries, 310 amp hour and 280 amp hour. So I should have enough battery capacity to last me. I also do have plenty of solar should I need it. And this is why in some of my battery review videos, I've done tests just kind of showing you guys like how much current everything on in this room uses. How much current everything in my living room uses. how much current everything in my kitchen uses. That's really important stuff to know when you're going to be living off of batteries and solar, so you can really be conservative enough with your power to make sure that you can make it not only through the day. Making it through the day is easy, but making it through the night. I probably won't have a space heater on during the day, but at night, when I go to my bedroom, crack the door, you gotta leave it cracked so Satan can get in and out. But that space heater is 1,500 watts. That's gonna pull a lot of current from, I think it pulls like 90 amps from the battery, so I probably won't have it on high, but that way, knowing what your room's current draw is from a battery on an inverter is very important to know. So keep that in mind. And as we all learned from 2020 and COVID, toilet paper, this is kind of my regular stock. I buy toilet paper in like the ginormous 30 packs, so I always have enough on hand. But one little pro tip that I'll share with you, every time I restock my toilet paper, I take one roll and I put it up here for like emergency stash. So like that's, you know, if we get another COVID type event, kind of just slowly gathering some extra toilet paper, you know, in case, you know, that's probably a few days supply for me, but you never know. But if you have a bidet, toilet paper becomes less and less important. $35 attaches to your toilet. Affiliate link will be in the description, and your toilet paper needs will go down exponentially. But do remember to wipe. Now, as far as solar, I keep all of my solar panels, or most of my solar panels, in this little kind of milk crate thing I got from Walmart. This is a 40 amp hour, or 40 amp charge controller rather, excuse me. So I can very easily plug all this in should I need to get it hooked up. And then I've got several power film solar panels. This is 120, these are hundreds, these are 60s, and then some smaller ones there. So very, very easily, should I actually need to run solar, I can set this up literally in a matter of minutes. And then up here in the closet, I've got 120 watt panel from Radioddity, and 100 and a 60 watt panel from Bioenno. So no problem with solar and batteries here. Now, if the power were to actually go out for an extended period of time, having communications is very important to me. So we've got HF radio, we've got VHF, UHF, all of that powers over 12 volts, which is normally, I use this Yaesu power supply here, but I can very easily unplug the two wires here and plug that into a battery and get on the air, make some contacts, and all that feeds through that power distribution block there. So very, very easy. I can also use one of these inverters or my other inverter, like I mentioned earlier. Just because the power is out doesn't necessarily mean your internet is out. So you can plug your router into an inverter that's being powered by a battery, get your internet back on, and at the very least, have some entertainment while you're sitting in the dark doing nothing, or get online, send a message out, whatever, communicate with your family, your loved ones, people in your area, whatever. Plug your router in to an inverter, and you probably will get internet back. So we've got power, we've got communications, other things to consider, food, and warmth. It's going to be cold. I moved to Texas to get out of Detroit because I don't like the cold. Fortunately, this house is actually very well insulated, and even in 2001 when we had that big freeze, this house didn't get that cold, and it was like -7 here. So here's like some of my camping gear. I've got a sleeping bag. I've got this like fleece blanket. This blanket I got, I think at Meijer when I lived in Michigan. I forget where I got it, but I think Meijer. It's super thin. This is like the warmest frickin' blanket I've ever had. When I'm camping, this is all I use. I sleep on the sleeping bag, and this is my blanket, and it keeps me warm even in the cold. Extra sheets. I've got an extra comforter on my couch right now. That's like a fake down comforter. I've got the same down comforter on my bed, hoodies, jackets, that kind of stuff. My gun is loaded. My one gun that I own, because I only own one as far as you know. You know, all the things. You got to think of these things. So getting into food. I don't keep a lot of food on hand, which I know is kind of a bad thing, but I just went to Walmart and kind of stocked up on the, you know, the milk and bread and kind of non-perishable things. Bought a lot of soup, some tuna. I bought a pork tenderloin that I'm probably going to cook tonight. So just things that'll get me through the day. As far as water, if there's some kind of water emergency, I've got my 12-volt cooler here stocked full of water. So that will just be for drinking. And then I have this can from Scepter. That's a 5-gallon water jug that I can use for any just kind of utility. I mean, it's clean. I can use that for drinking water too. And I have this little battery-powered sprayer thing that, you know, if our water for some reason gets shut off and contaminated, I can use that for showering or doing dishes, whatever. So that's what we got going on here in the kitchen. But also, as far as cooking, if the power goes out, this stove is 240 volts, so I won't be able to use that. So with the batteries and the 3,000 watt inverter, I got things that I could cook like in the microwave. You know, this pulls about 1,500 watts, I think a little bit less than that, off of battery power. Only be running in a few minutes if I need to boil water to cook something like that. We can use the air fryer. I can make coffee if I need to. Not really a big coffee guy. I'm plenty stocked up on Coca-Cola. We've got the proper liquor storage going on here. So I think I should be good. And again, I'm not really planning on anything to happen, but you never know. Oh, and the last thing that I did, if you are going to die in a zombie apocalypse or a cold front or whatever, I just went and got the car washed. So she's nice and pretty. That way, you know, my dad can at least be proud of me for having a clean car. Because I just want my dad to be proud of me. That's all. So that's kind of it. Oh, another thing for cooking in this closet here. If I need a stove, I've got the Blackstone here. So, you know, we got a nice griddle there. I've got plenty of propane tanks here. And then I've got a mostly full propane tank there. So I should be good for food and cooking and electricity. The only thing I won't really have would be the stove and heat. But I do have a space heater, so I'd probably just like kind of quarantine myself to my bedroom or the ham shack or something and throw a space heater on, put on a hoodie. Even in the snowpocalypse of 2021, like I was saying earlier, it didn't really get that cold in here. I mean, it did, don't get me wrong, but I was kind of fine just in pants, a t-shirt, maybe a long sleeve shirt underneath that, and a hoodie, some socks. That's kind of as bad as it got, even when it was that cold here, because this house is actually very well insulated. And again, being on a concrete slab, that helps. So I think we should be good, but I thought it'd be cool just to make this video and kind of show you guys some putting into practice all the stuff that I'm preaching, especially with like battery power and stuff on the channel. You know, that's why we do this stuff. So hopefully you found this entertaining. If you got anything else that might be helpful, throw it in the comments. And hopefully we'll see you on the other side of this. My name is Mike, K at MRD. We'll see you next time, 73.